Did you guys know that Scientology has some, not Scientology, Tom Cruise has some interesting divorce details having to do with Scientology? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some Lara FM news and the fact that Scientology might just be calling your mom. We're going to talk about that and more from Hawaii. Hello, everybody. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We touch on my time in this cult, leaving with 3 generations of my family. So when you hit that subscribe button, please hit the notification bell as well. Welcome, everybody in the live chat. Great to see you. Hello to the members. Thank you for being here. I am still in Hawaii, as many of you know. I'm so happy to jump on and be able to we're going to do a little recap here. And I'm glad that the internet is holding, and it is really nice right now. It's in the early morning hours. If you guys have a question as we go along, put question in front of it, and we'll try and catch as many of those as we can. I'm going to update you too on my situation with my foot and the sea urchin and that whole thing. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's talk about some Scientology stuff. Then we'll get into the fun stuff about Hawaii. Oh, and we're also going to get into there's some we're going to touch on this whole, you've heard about how, right, we say all the time Scientology is a human trafficking cult, but some information on why and how they're manipulating and abusing this system with visas when it comes to foreign workers and how they're being exploited by Scientology. So we're going to talk about that as well, and like I said, be jumping in, and I'm going to share some Hawaii news and things with you as well. Let's see if I can remember where all these buttons are. Let's jump in first and talk about the crazy Tom Cruise divorce news. We suspected this. Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise reportedly have strict divorce rules for their daughter Suri in regards to Scientology, right? Not like we didn't see that coming. We figured there was a certain amount in there of don't let her near L. Ron Hubbard stuff. So it says that this article says Katie Holmes was granted full custody of her and Tom Cruise's daughter Suri when they divorced in 2012. So it talks about, big shock. I mean, it really wasn't. I kind of thought that she would come around eventually. Here's the deal, though. Here's what it's saying. Divorce rules state that Suri should not be exposed to Scientology, which was something that we suspected, but this article is really kind of calling it out. And also saying that Suri, who's now 18 years old, has followed in the same path as some of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's children and dropped her father's last name. Is reportedly estranged from the Mission Impossible actor and hasn't seen him in 11 years. Very, very interesting indeed. And like I was saying, this is Scientology disconnection 101. This is absolutely because her mom was in Scientology and left Scientology, and Scientology's rules dictate that Tom Cruise can't have a relationship with her, even though I feel like he could if he wanted to, honestly. Hey, MD Media, that's right. It's a great day not to be in a cult. That is for sure. That is so sure. And I'm really feeling that too here. Being home in Hawaii is just amazing. Amazing. More on that, but let's take a look at, does anybody listen to Just Trish podcast, the Just Trish podcast, also here on YouTube? There was just an interesting tidbit in there about Tom Cruise that I thought was hilarious. I love when other creators on YouTube and in podcasts just kind of call out the crazy. Let's take a look.
God, could you imagine Tom Cruise came on? I would love to hear Tom Cruise, like, truly. Like, I would want him to be so open. Like, I want to know about Scientology, but, like, not, like, brainwash. Like, I want to know the truth. Like, do you, like, brainwash?
I don't know if he would just do that. Maybe he'd jump on the pink chair or something.
That'd be iconic.
I would love that.
I used to love Tom Cruise. He might be kind of weird. I don't know. Scientology is weird, huh? Maybe we shouldn't even get there. I feel like Scientology, but that's a whole other thing. All right.
Anyway,
cut that.
It's
Yeah.
it's time to end the show.
Okay.
Please.
We love you guys.
Roll the credits.
We'll see you in the next.
It's kind of funny. It's so interesting to me how much interest there is around celebrities in Scientology, and I totally get it. And the interesting part to me is so much of what we hear about with Tom Cruise and other celebrities and the relationships happens across the board in Scientology. Disconnection. And it's always interesting though when it's happening to a celebrity. So let's see here. Let's go take a look at Grant Cardone. So let's take a look at this little video here, and then we're going to talk about it. This is from, let's see, PARALYZE to PARALYZE here. And the question that this creator posed is Grant Cardone suffering from an undiagnosed thyroid condition, which I know a little bit about, not his condition, just my own. I've had both Hashimoto's and Graves' disease, which affect your thyroid. Not that common. Well, maybe it is common. I don't know. I got both. Usually people get one or the other, but I am an overachiever. And like I like to say, it's an autoimmune disease, or both of them are. And of course, I'm going to kick my own butt, because that's pretty much what an autoimmune disease is. Your body creates antibodies that attacks healthy tissue. And in my case, it both affected my thyroid. So this is interesting, what's being how this is being put together. I think there might be something to this. Let's take a look.
I have this vibrator. I have this thing inside of me, this thing that goes off.
Weirdest symptom that I actually experienced that I totally didn't realize was related to my thyroid, specifically my hypothyroidism, is this inner vibration. I don't know how to explain it other than it feels like an earthquake's happening, except it's not, but it's not vertigo where it's like, I feel like my world is spinning. It literally feels like the inside of my body is like vibrating. I honestly don't know how to explain it other than that.
I have this vibrator. I have this thing inside of me, this thing that goes off.
When your nervous system is turned up to a certain point, that's like electricity happening in the body. So if it's very high, if your nervous system is very stimulated and that voltage is turned up due to the stimulus, then you will feel more of these internal vibrations.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So whether or not it's thyroid related, but having your nervous system turned up like that, I think that many of you may have even experienced that in your lives. When that happens, I know that when I was prior to really being treated to resolve my thyroid issue, I experienced that internal vibration as well. Though it doesn't sound as fun as what Cardone there is talking about. I have this vibrator inside of me. No, I wouldn't have described it that way. It's more just like a quick bouncing on the inside off of it felt like I was in my body, just kind of like, well, I guess vibrating just quickly, just almost like bouncing off the walls in a way. Yeah, it was kind of like an internal tremor. I just saw a comment about that. People with essential tremor have an inside vibration as well. They call it internal tremor. I've had it for 48 years. Interesting. Yeah, when my thyroid issue was at its worst, when it was hyperthyroid, I would get the tremor and stuff too. But I got some medical treatment for that, and it is a ton better. But I thought that was interesting, because I think especially when it comes to autoimmune disease, like many things in Scientology, because it is not the most common normal thing for Scientologists to go to the doctor or seek medical attention. It doesn't mean that all of them don't, but it's the first point of finding a solution is Scientology itself. And it's not usually, oh, you should go check that out. There are situations too where there are specific Scientology auditing programs that get done if you're having like a lot of headaches. They say one of the things, and any of my ex-Scientology friends here in the chat, jump in. If you're catching this on the replay, jump in those comments. Back me up on this one. Do you recall, what was it called? The rundown, the introspection rundown. You would have to do this Scientology auditing procedure if you were getting a lot of headaches, because it means that you exteriorized from your body. And I don't recall what happened. Like, you can't get back in. You just can't like reset. So they do this rundown on you. So again, what if the headaches are for something else? What if the headaches are from a medical condition? You're not going and seeking medical help for that. So I just think it's really interesting that even somebody making the assumption that this is a medical thing. I don't know whether or not Grant Cardone would seek medical help for it, but he should. The more interesting point to me is to kind of bring this back to how the lack of medical treatment, because looking at Scientology as a fix affects Scientologists physically. You don't do regular screenings. That's right, Angela. Out-int. That's right. You were called out-int. But wasn't it, Angela, right? Where you exteriorize and then you can't go back in? Okay, good. Yep, interiorization rundown. Oh, it was I remember doing it and remember really not liking it, and I can't remember why. I don't remember. All right. Well, thank you for jumping in on that, you guys. You're right. Interiorization rundown. You were out in. Oh, it was always horrible. If you were a Scientologist, when something is wrong with you, they do this. It's like a checklist, if you will, and they're checking it on the e-meter. And so the auditor you're holding the can. So picture this, you're sitting there holding the cans, and the auditor is sitting there reading off a list of things that might be wrong with you as far as Scientology is concerned. And one of them is out int. And you always, as a Scientologist, you're like, please don't let that read. Please don't let that read. And by read, it'll show up on the e-meter. And then you have to do all this handling and auditing. And it is, girl, it is expensive. It is expensive. That's why you don't want that one to come up. And you need to have a certain level trained auditor to do it, to fix it. And if you're a staff member, that can be kind of hard to come by. Ooh, I remember that, man. Neuropsych, good point. Medical care should be available other than a chiropractor who isn't an MD. That's common too, where Scientologists will see. And I have no beef with chiropractic. I think it's great. I've seen multiple chiropractors over the years who have helped me, but I've also seen other medical family practice doctors and specialists as well. And you'll often hear too in Scientology, Scientologists will lean more towards a chiropractor, but not seek other medical care where they could get blood tests, or maybe you need other screenings. And again, that's where things end up kind of being missed. All right, let's take a look now. Let's talk about some Scientology propaganda. Oh my gosh, you guys, it just does not stop. Scientology has multiple front groups, as you know, and the Foundation for a Drug-Free World is one of those, where they hand out their booklets about painkillers, marijuana. Yeah, they're still handing out the marijuana one, which I think is hilarious, being that it is recreational. Recreational use is legal in over half of the United States. Heroin, all these other booklets, and a generic one about the truth about drugs. And they are using children, which they've always done, to hand these out in different, really all over the world, actually. Yeah. Hey, Blake Reed, good to see you there as well. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is from Apostate Alex, who is sharing these images. This is a little triggering for me. I did work with the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. You'll see the little girls wearing the big Foundation for a Drug-Free World sweatshirt. Let's take a little look at this clip.
This is another
T-shirt, not sweatshirt.
picture of one of those children wearing a shirt that's way too big for her, probably because it makes her look cute, handing out leaflets here in the UK. And here is a guy taking it. You can see no one's going to say no to that because it's cute. But unfortunately, it's a recruitment tactic and it's disgusting.
That's right. Look at that. Oh, with the big T-shirt like that. I remember seeing and some of you might even be here in the chat from the cadet org when I was in the Sea organization. The cadets, which were the children in the Sea org back then, they had their own organization called the Cadet Org, which ran just like a regular Sea Org organization. There was a commanding officer, and different people had, different kids had different jobs. And I remember every time I would see them, they would all be in these oversized shirts, because remember, their parents are making $47 a piece, right? If you're getting paid at all. And that's all the money they have. And if they had kids to clothe, so these like Way to Happiness shirts, Foundation for a Drug-Free World, all those shirts that get given out or people buy and donate, they would always be wearing, because it's a lot of the only clothes that they had. And a lot of them with just a giant T-shirt like that. It always made me sad. It really did when I would see that with the kids. All right, let's talk about something a lot more uplifting. Let's jump over here and talk about some Lara FM news. Don't know if you guys know about this. This is so exciting. Let's take a look at this. This is a post from Facebook from Lara. And she says, hey, everyone, big announcement. Next live show is at the Viper Room, and Lara FM Band is going on tour. This will be the first show of many shows on this tour, where we will be playing all sorts of venues and also protesting against Scientology at the local organizations in the different cities we perform our shows at. How cool is that? We are starting our West Coast SP tour in Los Angeles and moving through 7 different states. So definitely stay tuned through the website or directly on my Lara FM YouTube channel. Give some links in there where you can get tickets. There's a link down below here on my channel to this post, so you can go ahead and click those links and check it out. But that just sounds like fun, traveling around, playing music, and protesting Scientology. I just love it. I'm so here for that. I think that's fantastic. I was really excited to hear that and see that. That is absolutely, absolutely fantastic. All right, here, let's see. Where are we now? It is, I love how windy it is here. I really do. Let's see. Yep, Janet, hey, yay for Lara FM. So exciting for her and her band. I agree. That's super exciting. Did you guys hear what happened with Danny and LEAH? So Scientology has this tactic called, I'm going to tell your mom. In fact, we got to wake Osa up for this one. Look who I brought with me. Osa, Osa, Osa. Aloha, my friend. Wake up, rise up, listen, because we're going to be talking about you. So why is it that Scientology thinks that people who are live streaming or protesting or just have questions or are critical of Scientology care if you tell their parents? This is a thing. I don't know where this idea comes from. I don't know if it's this guy. Is it David Miscavige? Is there a meeting? Does the Office of Special Affairs, do you just gather and then take your orders from dear leader who says, I know what we should do? Let's send letters and packets of fair game info to the parents of protesters and live streamers who are adults, mind you, okay? Let's do that. That's a good idea. It is not a good idea, my Office of Special Affairs people. It is not, because you know why? Nobody cares. And most of their parents know what they're doing and that Scientology is a cult and does exactly this. So we're going to take a look at a couple clips from Danny and LEAH. So Office of Special Affairs, pay attention. Okay, let's go take a look at this clip. Again, this is from Danny and LEAH about the desperation of Scientology.
It's illegal flyering.
They share the packet. This is the actual packet that was sent. And Ariana is, I think Scientology thinks that that's Leah's name. So weird. But here is a picture of Danny flying, allegedly illegally. It's just ridiculous.
They have it exactly the way we're showing you. It's the way they had it in order for every 4 packets. Next page, Danny's arrest.
My arrest, it actually looks pretty nice. I'll be honest. I'm probably going to frame this one. We'll go to Dollar Tree right now, get a frame, photo frame, and keep it on top.
My parents were like, here. My parents gave it to me, and you know what they were going to do? They were going to throw it in the trash.
It's hilarious.
Next page, Danny's, the website where you can look for Danny on the sheriff's when he gets arrested.
It's illegal flyering.
It's just hilarious. I mean, oh, let's just talk about this. And I would love to hear your guys' thought too. If you're catching this on the replay, jump in those comments. What would you do if Scientology reached out to your family with a package of copied photos and information like that? Was like, do you know what your adult son or daughter is doing? Do you know? Did you hear? Oh my God, it's so dumb. Mary James, right? Their tactics are hysterical. Osa, it's 2024, not 1984. That's right, Mary. Good point. It is just nuts. It's so nuts. Blake Reed, thank you for that super chat. I would have to guess it's because they know for a fact that parents view them as a cult and they weaponize their perceptions against those rallying in groups, convincing them that they are also forming cults. Yeah, well said, Blake. It blows my mind. And it really shows you how here. There we go. We're back. What they're doing is Scientology is doing what's called a noisy investigation. L. Ron Hubbard said that when somebody's being critical of Scientology or, doing what people are doing out there live streaming, that you must do a noisy investigation, not just an investigation, a noisy one. And it's not so much, it's basically an intimidation tactic, is what it is. And it just doesn't work, especially today. Especially today. That is what is so absolutely crazy about it. Like, who's gonna grown-ups too, right? Adults, they're doing this with adults. It just blows my mind. It's hilarious. If either one of my parents were still alive, they would laugh their butts off. Especially my mom, who was a Scientologist, would just absolutely crack up. Oh, yep, that's right, Linda. Aja's package that the Office of Special Affairs sent to her boyfriend's parents and sister. Yeah, because again, just in case the family members of anyone choosing to live stream outside Scientology, just in case your family is on the fence about Scientology being a cult, we can count on Scientology to push them over the edge on that and get them to full understanding that, yes, Scientology is a cult. They're basically sending these things out saying, we are so culty that we're going to reach out to your friends and family and tell them things about you they probably already know and are proud of you for doing in the first place. But no, you keep that up, Scientology. That just makes no sense at all. Let's see here. Let's just look at, we got another clip from Leah and Danny as well. Let's take a look.
So one of their tactics where they call their family member of a protester, telling them, "Oh, we're investigating a whole bunch of things about her." Make up lies pretty much to scare the family to make you stop protesting. So one of their tactics where they...
Yep, that's all it is. And, like a failed intimidation tactic as well. I mean, could you imagine as a parent, you get something like that in the mail or family member? You're like, what wackadoodle sent this? Just Xerox copies of it. I mean, come on. On paper. Who does that? Send an email. Do a slideshow, a presentation. I don't know. But sending it like that, I think is ridiculous. You who nailed it, snitch culture galore. You got to understand this, you have to keep in mind the Scientology mindset. L. Ron Hubbard said, do a noisy investigation. And this is the kind of thing they would care about. Maybe I don't know, maybe like, well, I guess David Miscavige, his parents, what happened to his mom? His parents are not alive. So nobody can go tattle to his parents. Let's see. How about maybe David Miscavige's family members? Oh, wait a minute. They all left Scientology. That's right. So I guess it's not going to matter. Maybe we should package together what he's done and send them to his family. We do it, except his family's not speaking to him. Oh, it's just so funny. I hope you guys find this as absolutely hysterical as I do, because I really do. It's just crazy. Amber, that's right. She was in the cadet org. It was horrible. You hated it. That is one of the things that I probably do hate the most about my time in the SEA organization was all of those, young children that looked like they were being, at a minimum, neglected and being made to do jobs because they're, big beings in little bodies, not children. No. SP Crusader says it's the kind of thing an ex would do. My mom got a visit when my brother left staff. Weird. What's wrong with them? Yeah. They don't recognize that outside of the cult, the rest of the world is not thinking like this, does not do these things. They are completely out of touch with the social contract of society that surrounds them. And that's part of why they get so much pushback on being recognized as a cult. These are the type of behaviors that they do. And they just create their own enemies. Let's take a look now over at Big Blue. Mindy Willens was out there and ran into this elderly gentleman we've seen a few times pushing these crates of pushing boxes all over the place. He always seems to have some big stuff he's hauling around.
Are you all right, sir?
Mm-hmm.
You all right?
Yep.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding Scientology. What would you say is the biggest misconception people have?
I don't know.
You said what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you ever get to see your family?
Sure.
Does your family live here too?
Uh-huh.
How long have you been in Scientology?
I'm sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. You got really boxes? If you got it, that'd be great.
I'm happy to give you a hand if you'd like.
Okay. Thank you anyway.
Okay.
I love that he was speaking to her. I feel like, tell me in the chat, what do you think? Was he lying about seeing his family, or do you think he's actually seeing his family? My money's on lying. And I love that Mindy had a conversation with him. Yep, neuropsych, his back condition really bothers me. So sad. We've commented, you guys, we've talked about this a lot too. How, what is up with that? That, you know, hunched over. There's so many people who are aging in this organization, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that a lot. For as much as they support chiropractors, you think maybe they'd have one for the staff to help with that. Yep. Seems like you guys too think that he's lying. I think so too. It was just not something that was ever a thing in Scientology. Not many people in the C organization specifically would go and see their families. It's not that common of a thing. And it is a short story. It is acceptable to lie in Scientology, in the C organization. You give what's called a short story. If you are lying to protect Scientology, it is an acceptable truth, is what they call it, or it is a short story. So you can lie in Scientology, but only if you're protecting Scientology. You can't lie to Scientology. You can just lie about Scientology. All these crazy mental gymnastics you have to go through to be in and remain in a cult. It is a whole thing. Oh, good point on how to on fire. Osteoporosis from poor diet, stressed lifestyle. Yes, that's true. Joe says degenerative spine. Yeah, all that stress and whatnot. Yep. Joe, no exercise, sitting a lot. That makes sense. I need to walk more and exercise. It motivates me. I'm like wanting to sit up straight right now. Am I sitting up straight? Oh gosh, it's just so sad. It's such a bummer. Let's take a look now at something that's not a bummer, and that is Dan Walks LA being on the freeway with the big Scientology abuses children sign, getting just tons of love up there on the freeway.
Oh, they're all like stopped right now once again. Read our sign. That's right. That's right. That's right. Read our sign. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that they're out there putting that up. And when you watch the video, link down below to the whole video, you just hear just a ton of support for it. Like people know, people totally know. That's right, Marina. Dan Walks reminding people why we protest. Absolutely. Hey, Dan. You popped in just in time. All right, now let's go take a look at Boston. Cubs champion. Is it Cubs champion 16 or 18? Cubs champion 16 outside Boston, where, you know, one of the most harrowing things that can happen to you when you're out live streaming Scientology specifically. You need to be aware of this, people, because this could happen to you. So watch this and proceed with caution, because you too might just be videotaped cam-backed by a Scientologist.
Hope all you guys are having a good Wednesday. Good afternoon, Chris. Good to see you. Oh no, I'm being filmed, guys. Oh no, he's filming me. Oh no, he actually really is. Oh no. You got a YouTube channel? I'll subscribe, man. What's up, man? I can show you the other side too. You're goofy.
It's so funny. Oh my goodness. Just seriously, right? I love too when you can kind of feel the aggression there too with the camera, right? Where it's just like, there's like videotaping and then there's like, oh my gosh, is my light on? I'm going to run my battery down. It is. I got up so early this morning. We're 5 hours behind Minnesota here in Hawaii and got up way too early today. Way too early. Hey, Lori Plays. Great to see you too. That's right, Carrie. His video tech is off. Needs the phone to cover his face. Why is this clicky thing not working here? All right, moving on. We will fix that. Okay, so let's take a look now over at Twin Cities, because before I left to come to Hawaii, as you guys know, we did Tony's Celebration of Life on Sunday, and the day before that, we went to the Twin Cities organization, do some live streaming there. And Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology and some others went inside. There is a public area, and then there's the Scientology area. And Windy City Thetan Watch was there, Nance Drew. I mean, so many people. It was amazing. And it was so great to meet so many of you that came out, not just for the live streaming, but also to the celebration of life. I wish I had more time to spend out there. It was fantastic. And also to see the condition that the building was in, it really seems like it's falling apart. Let's take a look at this video.
Your church won't let you talk.
So Windy City Thetan Watch was there and just reminding people, like, your church, your religion won't let you speak to people. They had people who were being ushered in by staff members. You know the drill. You go out there and they see people live streaming, and then the Scientology staff members come out to get the person and take them away. And this was done there. Take a look too at this welcome sign. Let's see. Can I see that still? Hold on. When you see they're walking up the stairs, see the staff member there? Look at her walk with intention. That's just walking with intention. She is just like, they're going to follow her. They have to listen. They're going to get a talking to. Someone's writing a report for sure to kind of show, hey, here's what's happening here. People are out there actually speaking to people with cameras outside Scientology. No, can't let that happen. Let's have them come in. Let's have them walk in and, I still think they should just get one of those hooks and then pull them in. That's right, Scarlett. Not so welcome. That giant welcome sign, I swear, has been there since day one, which is like a decade or so ago. When I left Scientology, I think they had bought the building and they were raising money for the renovations. I don't remember when they moved in exactly, but that sign is so faded. That welcome sign, that's embarrassing. Take that down. Take that down. Get a new one, Scientology. Take some of that millions of dollars you got. You buy this multi-million-dollar building. You spend millions of dollars to renovate it. And then you let the outside fall apart. There's a ramp that you can go into the building. Like if you're in a wheelchair, or maybe with a stroller, and it was all busted up. The stairs were busted up in areas. The welcome sign, like I said, had been hanging there probably for a decade. Why not put some of that money into improving the buildings, getting rid of what are absolutely these tripping hazards, total tripping hazards. Hey, Wendy, did I see you there in the chat? No notification, check your subscribe button. And everybody who's here, could you please go over and show that like button some aloha. Go smash some aloha over there. Check your subscribe button as well. All right, now let's take a look at another clip here. So Windy City Thetan Watch and Nora sat down. Great video.
Pointed. That's what they call,
because they go over a lot of some really interesting information. I love this type of collaboration because you've got somebody like Windy City Thetan Watch who's never been in Scientology, but is all in on ending Scientology, and Nora, who has the knowledge of having grown up in Scientology and been in the Sea Org, to kind of fill in the blanks on the behavior. And I just love this collaboration. Let's take a little peek.
safe pointed. That's what they call infiltration in Scientology, is safe pointing. by someone from WISE or someone from Association for Better Living and Education with a Narcanon-esque, truth about drugs pamphlets that they want to hand out to the whole school district and things like that. Those are the things especially that have to get protested as well as the orgs, right? Because that is how they normalize Scientology to the masses, because
that is true. Those front groups are all about, like she said, safe pointing, which is going out there in the community and making people basically think good about you, so that if they hear anything like that Scientology is a cult or they force disconnection, they're going to go, but wait a minute, they were so kind and they offered to give us a tour and blah, 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 blah. And they donated to our police fund or whatever it is to create that safe point. That is what they try to do. All right, let's take a look now at, I love this clip. This is from the Twin Cities org again. And Aaron from Growing Up in Scientology was there. He had gone inside and even gets I think there's even a photo bomb in this one from Barb. Let's take a look.
Hey, guys. Oh, yeah, he was the public in New York. Hey, guys, I got a question. This is the big ideal org I've seen. If the purpose of ideal orgs...
There's Barb. Isn't it funny? Because sometimes when Aaron's doing his lives, Barb will bring herself up accidentally on screen. And then here's Aaron in real life and Barb pops in. This is just perfection.
Is to make St. Hill size orgs. How come there's no public in this org?
I forgot that guy's name. I feel like I might have known him back in the day.
Why is it so dead?
God, what is his name? What is his name? It'll come to me in the middle of the night and I'll let you all know.
No, seriously, when's the last time you saw a St. Hill size org announced? Has it been 20 years? 25 years? It's like the biggest building in the US. No public? It's crazy, right?
Now, for those of you that might not know, St. Hill was an organization in England, still there, that L. Ron Hubbard ran in the 60s. And it was said to be this big, booming organization. So L. Ron Hubbard wrote this policy that all he wanted for his birthday. Well, wait a minute. Did it come out after he died? Oh, I can't remember the timeline. But point being, there's a birthday game that all Scientology organizations play where you get points for your statistics, and it's supposed to equate to expansion. And the whole goal was to achieve the size of old St. Hill. So St. Hill in its prime day, it's like, wanting to go back and maybe you were like, I don't know, a football star or something in high school and you want to like go back and just relive those days. That's kind of, I think, what it's like to a degree. So anyways, Scientology used to be achieve the size of old St. Hill. That's what L. Ron Hubbard said to do. Well, David Miscavige comes along and is like, oh, I don't know. I got this idea for a real estate scam where we can make a lot of money and we can get the public to pay for it. And I think it'll really work. And we can just really solidify the fact that we're a cult. That is what happened. I'm pretty sure it went something like that. Down to the hair play. Maybe not. Maybe not with that. Can you guys hear these birds? They're quiet right now, but I might have been speaking over them. They get really loud. It's so amazing. You hear it? You're right. KT PETA. That one time at band camp. Absolutely. That's exactly it. This one time at band camp. This one time when I was in the Sea Org. Yep, the birds are gorgeous. Oh, I'm glad you guys can hear it. It does get kind of loud. All right, let's hop over to Chicago. We're just going to look at a couple things here, and then we're going to talk about some Hawaiian news too. So let's see. This is when Windy City Thetan Watch got back to Chicago. I love it when he lets people know that, hey, by the way, Scientology's a cult. That's where they're taking you. Because what these body routers, Scientology recruiters don't tell people that it's Scientology that you're going into.
Howdy, anything to share about the church today? No, nothing. We're not allowed to really talk about the church. Does the church let you talk about the church? Isn't that strange? It's a cult. So by the way, you're going into Scientology. They're a human trafficking cult. Don't give them your real name and address. Don't give them your real name and address.
I love that. And you can tell the guy too, he looked at the building and was like, oh, yes, that's right. This is Scientology. I'm being led into Scientology. Led in. Hey, oh no, Nora. All right, now let's talk about this Scientology exploiting foreign workers. Oh my goodness. You can tell the birds are really waking up. It's only like 20 to 8 in the morning here. Okay. This is something I witnessed many times when I was in the SEA organization. And this is an article that came out a while ago about how Scientology exploits foreign workers. The church has used an obscure visa to bring in thousands of laborers and benefit from their toil. This is a picture of SEA Org members here doing some type of work with, I don't know if you'd need a hard hat or a mask or gloves. I don't know, because I don't know what's happening here. It says one of Scientology's young immigrant workers in 2003. But here's the thing. This article is about someone they're calling Tina, who was 14. Her parents lived at a Scientology compound in the U.S., and she was in another country, and they used something called an R1 visa. And it was a permit recently created by Congress for religious workers good for 5 years. The officials told Tina what to tell anyone who asked. So in other words, Scientology tells their religious workers what to tell people who ask. And it was that she would be attending a special Scientology school and volunteering for the church part-time. It wasn't true. Once she got the R1 visa, right after that, once approved, Tina worked shifts as long as 24 hours doing construction, building furniture, and performing administrative tasks. None of it is voluntary, she told me. And then it goes and gives more examples of this on how from Hungary, a 21-year-old was getting as many as 5 calls a day from Scientology officials urging him to come work for the organization in the US on an R1 visa. He finally agreed, and to help him pass his interview, the recruiters shared a psychological profile of the person who would screen him at the US consulate. I want to make sure you're really getting that there. Okay, did you hear that part? I'm going to read that part again. He finally agreed, and to help him pass his interview. So to help this guy pass the interview with the government to go work for free for Scientology, the recruiters, these are his Scientology recruiters, SEA Org recruiters, the recruiters shared a psychological profile of the person who would screen him at the U.S. consulate. The visa was approved, and soon that person was off to Clearwater, Florida, where Scientology has one of its headquarters. An official there took away his passport and made him sign contracts in English, a language he didn't understand. Let's see. It's shocking, but not shocking. I mean, I've known this, but just reading it and seeing it again just continues to blow my mind. Hey, Phil Jones, good to see you there. So this is human trafficking in action. So for this person from Hungary, right, the visa got approved. They went to Clearwater. They took away his passport, made him sign contracts in English, a language he didn't understand. He saw that what he'd be instructed they told him what to say to the consulate, that he'd be performing religious duties as a minister. That was a lie. And he says they needed us to do disgusting work, he said, very, very heavy manual labor. He estimated that 2/3 of the people working in Clearwater were from overseas. So this article goes on to give multiple examples of this abuse of these R1 visas and how Scientology with the SEA organization is bringing people over with this religious worker visa, prepping them on how to get through this interview by telling lies. Because remember, in Scientology, they're called short stories or an acceptable truth. And then once they arrive, taking their passport and making them work up to 24 hours a day at times. This is something that's still going on today and has gone on for a long time. Link down below for that full article so that you can go ahead and you can check it out. Let's grab some questions here now. Aaron, hi, Natalie, how's your foot? Okay, it is a lot better. For those that don't know, I was minding my own business in the ocean the other day, checking out some turtles. I was actually in the middle of a live stream from in the water, and I was wearing water shoes. So it was on the side of my foot by my ankle. I was standing there. So I don't know if the water moved and the sea urchin, stabbed me, stung me. In all of my years growing up in Hawaii and all my time coming back to see family and getting in the ocean, I've never had this happen with a sea urchin before. So you can hear me. I'm like, ow, it hurt. And then I had to go quite a ways to get back to the beach. And then I had to walk back to the house that we're staying at. And it swelled up. There were like 3 dark marks. So the sea urchins, they, poke you. And then there's like a barb that can go under your skin. Like you couldn't even feel it. It was totally under and in my skin and was swelling and has made my foot hurt. But you soak it in vinegar and water, hot water, as hot as you can take it, repeatedly. And I've been doing that. And you want to do that because it will dissolve the barb that's inside of my foot, and then my body will absorb it. So I'm looking at it now. It looks a ton better. It still hurts if I push on it. And if I do too much on my foot, I start feeling it. But I'm going to be okay. I guess it's a long, short answer to that. I am going to be okay. Let's see. Natalie's body Thetan. Do you eat sea urchin? I would have. I don't. Uni, which is what it's called. Uni has never been a thing of mine. Tony loved uni. And there's one restaurant in Excelsior, Yumi's, a sushi place, that would sometimes get it on Fridays. And then I would go ahead and get it for him. He loved uni, not me. I didn't like it. I thought it smelled funny. Was not for me. Pause for Andrea says, does Grant Cardone seem to think the vibrator inside of him is a health issue or a superpower? I think he thinks it's a superpower. I do. Ooh, MD Media 18 has some interesting info. They moved Curtis Johnson from Denver, who attacked JDSA, to Los Angeles. I saw him last Saturday. MD Media, no kidding. So for those that don't know, Curtis Johnson was a SURI member who physically assaulted JDSA in Denver. And I'm talking full-blown scuffle for those of you that might be new. Yeah, that's crazy. And they move him. That makes sense that they would move him. Wow. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Jess is saying that Scientology also called Cut-E's mom. They mailed a packet to Aja's boyfriend's family. And I think Sandra OT also got a packet. It's so dumb. Scientology, so dumb. That should be their tagline. Scientology, come cult with us. Scientology, culting since 1950. Pam says, Natalie had a dream you were in a very beautiful white dress and were with Tony on a beach. You were so beautiful. I know it's off topic, but maybe he's with you sometimes. I believe so, completely. We've had a few things happen that were kind of interesting, which maybe I'll share about those later, that definitely made us feel that way. Casey Cat, thank you for that, says, that's the birds applauding for you. That's funny. Yeah, they are getting loud. I'm not totally sure what today will hold. It's been really great, though. It's been a lot of fun taking Tony's boys and to the different places that we enjoyed being at. We're right across the street from, we're in Puako, which is the only residential area on the Kohala Coast here on the Big Island. And we've gone to a few places that Tony and I went to a ton and loved being at. And it's just been really neat to share that with the boys and also meet friends of ours. We have some friends here that we've gotten to know and spend time with when we're here on the Big Island. And it's been really neat to share that experience too with the boys and have them meet. Yep, neuropsych, cult your way to bankruptcy. That's so funny. Hey, Elron Hubcole, great to see you here. I got to get caught up on what's happening in Denmark out there. I'm working on getting caught up some. Joe, thank you. You actually look at peace out there. Oh, I always feel amazing when I come back home. Always. Absolutely. Me and Taz says the protesters are making Scientology spend lots of money. I don't know. Based on those packets, I feel like they're phoning it in. It's like Xerox pieces of paper that they just stapled together and threw in an envelope. It just seems like, I don't know, was there a cover letter? Was it on better quality paper? Like, why not use photo paper? You know, if you really want to make an impact, you got to up your game on the presentation, Scientology, because that looks like something my grandson Oliver, who is almost 7, could have put together himself. Not very intimidating. Shauna, sorry if it's silly. No silly questions. Not at all. It's not silly. What kind of birds are those singing in the background? They sound amazing. I'm the worst. I forget. I actually forget what they're called, but they are. I think they're really tiny. I remember thinking like, wow, a bird that small making such a loud noise like that. KT Peta says Odin meets the piggies at Hawaii, a new children's story. Oh my goodness, that'd be funny. So my dog Odin, who's a giant schnauzer. Now here in Puako, if you guys go to Instagram and you search Puako Piggy, Puako and then Piggy, you will find the Instagram page for Princess Radiant, who is a giant wild boar who a friend of ours, David, found her as a very young pig boar, anyways, and has been taking care of her ever since. And they're really bonded. Like you can't get near within 4 feet of David if Princess is out there with him, and she is humongous now. And he just recently rescued another wild boar who was separated from her family and was just like going up and down the road. Neighbors, because they knew David had this experience with a boar, reached out to him, and he grabbed her in January, and we got to meet her. That's when we were on the beach. The piggies like to go to the beach at sunset and move around rocks and roll around in the sand and all of that. It's actually pretty cool to see. So we did a sunset with the piggies the other night. We sat on the beach last night and caught the sunset. I'm gonna have to try and do a live stream at sunset so you guys can see it. It's not just when the sun is going down in Hawaii. It's like it's all of the colors that come afterwards, I think, is more my favorite. You know, you sit and you watch it going down, but when it really goes below the horizon, the colors are absolutely spectacular. Oh, Scarlett says pigs and boars are so intelligent. That's interesting. Susan, excellent point. Scientology just does not understand that our families know what we're doing. Oh, for some, it's a family activity. Yeah, you're so right about that. Oh, that's a good idea, Abraham. I'll video it and do a short. In fact, I took a bunch of video last night. I'll do a short about that today. Yep, love Maddie. I did see that Cubs champion 16 in Boston found cult flyers put under car windshield. I did see that. And that's what they do. That's what they do. Yadira. Natalie looks gorgeous, surrounded by nature. Real life Moana. Oh, it's Mike Sandoval. Pigs and boars do not join cults. Yoo-hoo? No, I've not heard anything about how Maui is doing. I haven't had a conversation here with anybody about that yet. Let's see. Soisuka says the sea urchin sting is unfortunate, but might be a blessing in disguise. A message that from Tony that you need to let yourself sit and have others do for you. When you lived in Hawaii, you never got to just be. That is so true. And that is what ended up happening is I had to, soak my foot so much. I had to kind of take it easy. And I realized that, wow, this is like the first time I feel like I've just stopped in a while. And it was really nice, aside from the fact that my foot hurt. But I agree with you. I really agree with you on that one. Let's see. Shauna says, oops, what is this? There we go. They sound huge. Must be the birds. Thanks so much, Natalie. By the way, I've been sub for a year, but recently got brave enough to start chatting. That's awesome, Shauna. Your mods are so thoughtful and everyone is so kind here. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think the mods do an amazing job. We try to just keep things on topic and make sure that nobody's, bringing any hate. We want to create a space where people can come and talk about these topics that we're covering on the recap or when I do other videos, and just be able to ask questions and communicate, understand the Scientology mindset, which is something I hope to bring to the table as someone who was in Scientology for 35 years, to bring more understanding, which helps even people understand people in Scientology, but people in Scientology who want to leave understand how much support there is out here for that, and how so much that I've learned from all of you never in Scientology in how and why Scientology is culty, how certain things look that growing up, I didn't see it as weird or odd because that's all I knew. So there's such value in being able to have people never in Scientology and people in Scientology come together and have these conversations about the cult practices, about the abusive practices in Scientology, covering all of those things. All of it there. Let's see. KT PETA, no, I am on the Big Island and Scientology's location is on Oahu. And you're right, his name was Wilbur. Wilbur, who called the police on me and my family, which was not aloha, not at all. But the police were super friendly and they made an amazing recommendation for manapua and some food. So it was totally worth it, actually. They were super nice. Yeah, Wilbur called the cops. They came, we chatted, got some restaurant recommendations and left. And then when we were walking around Chinatown, I ran into one of the officers and she waved us down and said, "Did you find it? Did you find the bakery?" And of course we had. But Scientology fail. Let's see here. All right. I think I want to get as many of your questions as I can. And I think I grabbed them. I do love the real life Moana. My sister Nahe, she's more real life Moana. She can spearfish. She can still dive. It's amazing. So today, I do believe my brother lives here and I've not seen my brother yet. I think either today or tomorrow he's going to come join us. I think we're going to do some snorkeling. Gotta figure it out what today's going to look like, but I'm definitely going to put together a short of that sunset and see about jumping in and doing some other lives as well. We are going, what am I doing Saturday? I feel like there's a bunch of stuff we're supposed to do. Oh, some farmers markets. And then on Sunday is when we're actually going to scatter Tony's ashes and we're going out on a boat to do that. So I will definitely share some photos and videos with you guys on that too. And we're going to do it over sunset. I think it's going to be really nice. Oh my gosh. Heavenese, that's hilarious. Should have named her Bacon. That's why I couldn't have a pig as a pet because I love pork so much. I don't think I could see it as anything but food. And I know little pigs can be cute, but I still see them as food. In fact, when I first went to the state fair in Minnesota, I went with some friends and they took us into this area and I was like, there were these heat lamps and pigs in there. And I was like, wow, why are they heating them up now? Like, I thought you would slaughter them first and then you cook them, but maybe this is some Minnesota thing, but whatever. And then I'm like, hey, I'm getting hungry. We should go find the done pork. And my friend looked at me just mortified. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? She's like, this is the like baby exhibit. Like these were under heat lamps because they were young pigs. I felt horrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, but that's how much I see them as food. In the Hawaiian culture, especially, we eat a lot of pork and, yeah, can't have a pig as a pet because I can only see it as food. Same thing with fish. I go into any dentist's office and I get hungry if they have a fish tank. My kids too. I remember once taking my son into the dental office and he had his glass up again, was looking at the fish and he didn't know a lot. He loves salmon. And wanted to know if there was any salmon in there to eat. Explain no. Yep, that's right. I love Irrelevant Panda. Yeah, I do see it as food. I know they're cute. I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to flip the switch on that. All right, everybody. So I'm going to wrap this up and figure out where everybody is. Have some fabulous coffee. I've been enjoying the Loca Kona coffee. It's been really nice. Hey, Beth, look at you, a lurker coming out and saying hi. I love that. All beautiful spot, beautiful day. Absolutely. Also going to find some malasada trucks. Well, there's one nearby where we are. Got to find out what time they open. Malasadas are a Portuguese donut that was brought over and it's just hugely popular here in Hawaii. That's right. Aloha, everybody. Please hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button too on your way out. But most importantly, everybody, get out there and have an amazing cult-free day.